Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. As always, I hope you guys are having an amazing day. And today I'm going to be showing you guys how to do a sectional perspective in Rhino. So, as you can see on my screen here, I am in Rhino for Mac. Now this will work completely normally for Rhino for Windows, but what you'll find is a few different tools are in different places, and I'll explain to you guys where they are as we see them. Now here we have a model, very graciously given to me by one of my friends, Omer. I will put his work in the description if you want to check out his work. This is one of his projects from university. I thought with the way it's shaped, it would give a really nice sectional perspective. So the way we are going to be achieving our sectional perspective is first by using a clipping plane to cut through the building at the right place that we want. Now keep in mind this model is 1:1, so everything should be 1:1. First thing I'm going to do is type clipping plane. And as you'll see, I get these options on the left. Now keep in mind on Windows, the option bar will be at the top, but it's the exact same options. We're going to choose 3-point. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom into this face here. Now keep in mind it needs to be a flat face. We're going to click on the left corner. We're going to click on the right corner. And we're going to click on the bottom corner. Now keep in mind this all needs to be in the same X, Y axes, because otherwise you'll find your section will be at an angle. So what I would recommend is rotate your model so that you are parallel with the area you want to cut through, because if you have a different shaped building, you want your section to be straight. I'm going to click this bottom corner, and as you'll see, it's created a section. Now as you can see guys, my computer might be a little bit slow, and that is because I'm on the rendered view. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this shaded view. It's just a bit easier on the processor and will reduce any kind of lag. So I'm going to right click perspective and I'm going to change to my shaded view. So here we have our slice. Now obviously we're slicing through the wrong side of the building. So what we're going to do is you'll see this black box around the area. We're going to click on it and we're going to click up here and choose flip direction. So this will flip the direction of our clipping plane. Now as you can see, it's not really cutting through anything. Now we need to put our clipping plane in the right place to show the kind of information we want. Normally you'll find sections go through either a key staircase or through a part of the building that demonstrates either certain spatial qualities or that gives the most information to the viewer so they can understand the building as a whole. I'm going to be using the gumball to just move my section. Now if you don't have these 3 arrows show up on your screen, you're going to want to turn on your gumball tool. On Mac, you can see I have it here in the top bar. I can turn it off and on. And on Windows, you'll find it in the bottom bar. So now we have our gumball turned on. We can use this red arrow and we can drag it through to a place where we're happy. So I want to miss out these doors. And there. Now again, you guys want to play about, find a section you're happy with, keep trying it, but for the sake of this video, I'm happy with this section. So as you can see here, we're cutting through the building, we get a nice amount of information, and I want to now get my sectional perspective showing this view. So the way a sectional perspective works is the slice through the building maintains its scale and it will be to scale, but everything else beyond the cut will not be to scale because it is in perspective. As you can see, we have our cut in the right place. We're happy with the information that's being shown. And now we need to make the camera in line with the section. To do this, we're going to be using a command called Orientate Camera to Surface. So I'm going to just type this in. And as you can see, it's already recommending it. So I'm going to hit enter. And what we now have to do is we have to choose a face that the camera will make itself parallel with. So if you can see, I'm going to zoom into this back wall here and I'm going to click on this greener area. Now as you can see, this yellow box appears showing the surface, and this is the one I'm happy with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to left click again and you should see our camera should now be parallel with this face. From here, you need to be very careful. We don't want to orbit around the model at all because we will no longer be parallel with this face. So all we're going to be doing is using zoom and pan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out with my scroll wheel. And I'm happy with this size, but obviously we're chopping off the bottom of the building. So I'm going to go up here to the pan tool, this hand here, and we're just going to gently drag. We're just going to gently drag and we're going to center this building in the middle of our camera. Perfect. I'm really happy with this, so let's get our section. So now I've zoomed out and I'm really happy with this view. What we're going to be doing to get our section is we're going to be doing the make 2D command. What this will do is it will flatten all of the visible line work so we can export it and first make sure it's to scale. So I'm going to just drag over everything here and I'm going to type make 2D and hit enter. When your make 2D option pops up, you may have different selections to what I currently have. You're going to want to replicate what I've got on the screen. You want a group output. Many times you'll find hidden layers as default checked on. You want to make sure this isn't on because we only want to see the information we're looking at and nothing behind it. I'm going to hit apply. And as you'll see in the top left, we get a progress bar as make 2D does its thing. Now, when make 2D is finished, what it should do is it should automatically change your selection to the new make 2D diagram. And there you have it. You can see our diagram in the background, but it's a little bit hard to view. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on perspective to go back to our 4 viewports. As you can see in my top down view, we have our drawing here. So I'm just going to zoom out and I'm going to make my top down view bigger. And I'm just going to move this off to the side so it's not clashing with my model. Again, using the gumball. Now I'm going to zoom into this, have a quick look. I'm pretty happy with this drawing. So what we're now going to do is we're going to want to export this line work, obviously making sure it's to scale. Now keep in mind, the way make 2D works is it will base everything off the scale of your camera. So some of this may be incorrect. How are we going to check this? Now what we do is we need a reference point on our diagram, which I'm certain you'll all know. For example, in this drawing, I'm going to be using the thickness of the ground. So what we're going to do is we're going to select our whole line work and we're going to type scale. As I mentioned, I know the thickness of this slab from here to here is 0.6 meters. Now, keep in mind, in terms of scaling, you're going to want to use something like a wall thickness or a floor thickness because, again, the only things that are going to be in scale are the section cut itself. Any of the information behind will not be to scale because it's in perspective. So I'm going to choose this ground. As I've mentioned, the full ground is 0.6, so I'm going to zoom up to here and I'm going to change this to 0.3 and hit enter. And as you can see, it did rescale it, but only by a little bit. So now our drawing should be 1:1. Now, keeping everything selected, I'm going to go File, and I'm going to click Export Selected. Now we'll get this pop up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it as nursery.pdf and I'm going to hit Export. And then you'll get this pop-up show. So here is the option where you can choose your different export options. So first we're going to choose our paper size. I want this on A3. I'm going to make it landscape. Now you can choose for it to be a vector output where it's line work, or you can choose a raster output. I'm going to leave mine as vector because we have a line work drawing here. And again, I'm going to make it black and white. And then if we click on this drop down for view and output scale, we can choose the scale. So this is currently put on scale to fit. This is incorrect and it will be wrong. I'm going to click the drop down and I'm going to select 1 to 200. And now you can see my drawing is exactly 1 to 200 on this page, and I'm going to hit apply. And at the bottom we have here, PDF was successfully exported. So now what we can do is we can open up this PDF, make sure it's all okay, and if you want, you can now take this into Illustrator, clean up the line work. I'm just going to go open up this file, see how it looks. As you can see, I'm pretty happy with that. Now keep in mind, we've got inconsistent line weights. The section plane does do a thicker line. If you want to now do more detail and continue playing with it, you can take this into Illustrator, you can change your line widths, you can experiment with color, and then you could even put it into Photoshop, add your textures, and detail this however you want. So guys, that is all for this video. Hopefully you found it helpful. Click here to subscribe, and if you want to see some other Rhino tutorials, click here. I'll catch you guys in another video.